This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. A family grieving a young mother being shot dead. Trump's immigration policies could impact Bahamian mothers. And the Dundas Theater needs your help. What you can do to save the historic Performing Arts Center. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. And again, more on the Dundas and what you can do to help. That'll extend into our business hour. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the 23-year-old woman who died after she was shot while sitting in a car outside a Meadow Street home Sunday was a mother of three who only recently gave birth to her last child. A resident of Abaco, Valeria Sands, had traveled to New Providence to give birth. As is customary for many Family Islanders, her uncle, Doddridge Conley, saying that no one anticipated that she would never make it back home. You can hear more about this in just a moment here and read more about it in today's Nassau Guardian. A man convicted of a murder and attempted murder that occurred 14 years ago is entitled to a reduced sentence because he wasn't tried within a reasonable time as guaranteed by the Constitution. His lawyer, public defender James Thompson, suggesting that Ronaldo Farrington receive a sentence in the range of 10 to 20 years for the murder and 7 to 10 years for attempted murder. Farrington was convicted of the December 28, 2009 murder of Teron Albury and the attempted murders of Kennard McSweeney and Alexander McSweeney at a bar in Gregorytown in Eleuthera. The prosecutor, Janessa Murray, did not agree that Farrington should get a reduced sentence despite the delay in bringing him to trial. In her view, Farrington was only entitled to receive credit for the 15 months that he spent on remand before he was released on bail. She told Justice Neil Brathwaite that society needed protection from people like Farrington. Prosecutor recommended a sentence of 45 years for the murder and concurrent sentences of 30 years for the attempted murders. Farrington, according to the evidence, had a verbal altercation over access to the bathroom in a bar with Kennard McSweeney that turned physical. McSweeney was using the men's bathroom because Farrington's girlfriend was in there. When McSweeney suggested that Farrington's girlfriend use the designated bathroom, Farrington allegedly pulled a knife and started swinging. Other men, including the deceased, tried to intervene and were stabbed. At his sentencing judgment next month. And prosecutors urging jurors to find an accused guilty of murdering a man in blood in closing arguments. Rashid Edgecombe submitted that the prosecution proved that Claude Tassi was responsible for the January murder of Pedro Moss, who was shot in the head at Potters Key Dock. Edgecombe pointed out that on separate occasions, Tassi was identified as the gunman during identification parades at CID. Tassi's lawyer challenged the identifications, which were conducted by then Inspector Michael Johnson. She told jurors that Johnson was not a witness of truth and that he had failed to follow protocols concerning the parades. Bethel noted that, that's the lawyer, Cassie Bethel, noted Dwight allegedly picking out Tassi in the lineup. One of the witnesses said the man he saw kill Moss was not in court. Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell says that U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, if successful, would likely have implications for Bahamian women who give birth in the United States. Trump signed the executive orders hours after he was sworn into office last week. It would end birthright citizenship for babies born to a mother and father who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanents. The order mandates at least one parent to be a U.S. citizen or green card holder for the child to qualify for U.S. citizenship at birth. However, a U.S. judge temporarily blocked the order last week, stating it was a blatant unconstitutional order. Mitchell saying that it appears that the circumstances where women leave the country for medical reasons and go to the hospital in the United States, it appears that that child, if the order is successful, would no longer be able to claim citizenship at birth. And Energy and Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis says that U.S. President Donald Trump's new energy policy, which expands oil and gas consumption, and any push to increase the use of fossil fuels could lead to concerns about global warming and climate change. She was speaking during the opening ceremony of Legal Week 2025 at the University of the Bahamas, saying, quote, "This change will bring it with it new policies, and while it is not our position to dictate what the U.S. should or shouldn't do, we are mindful of the impact the policies of the U.S. can have on us. One of the first acts of the Trump administration is the issuance of executive orders unleashing American energy." She went on to talk about what this could mean. You can read about it in today's Nassau Guardian. And the National Honors Committee will begin accepting nominations starting February 1st. Nomination forms can be sourced online at the government's website, in person at the Cabinet Office, or at government offices on the Family Islands. Overseas, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians streaming into Gaza's most heavily destroyed area after Israel opened the north for the first time since the early weeks of the war with Hamas, a dramatic reversal of their exodus 15 months ago. As a fragile ceasefire held into a second week, Israel was told by Hamas that 8 of the hostages to be freed during the deal's first phase are dead. Joyous crowds of Palestinians, some holding babies or pushing wheelchairs, walked alongside a seaside road all day and into the night, carrying beds, rolls of beds, bottles of water, and other belongings. Armed and masked Hamas fighters flashed a victory sign. The crowd was washed over by Israeli tanks on a nearby hill. Congo security forces fighting today against Rwanda-backed rebels who advanced into a key eastern city in a major escalation of a decades-long conflict. Residents reported gunfire overnight in Goma, a city of 2 million people, which the rebels claimed to have captured Monday. Explosions and gunfire heard near the now-shut Goma airport. Goma is a regional trade and humanitarian hub holding hundreds of thousands of the more than 6 million people displaced by eastern Congo's prolonged conflict over ethnic tensions that have resulted in one of the world's largest humanitarian crises. The M23 rebels are one of the about 100 armed groups vying for a foothold in the mineral-rich region in the conflict, one of Africa's largest. The rebels temporarily took over Goma in 2012 before being forced to pull out under international pressure. They resurfaced in late 2021 with increasing support from Rwanda, according to Congo's government and United Nations experts. Rwanda has denied such support. It's unclear how much of Goma is controlled by the rebels, who marched into the city early Monday to both fear and cheer from residents. It was the culmination of weeks of fighting during which the rebels captured several towns in a shocking advance. In sports, Team Bahamas facing a critical juncture next month in its attempt to qualify for the FIBA AmeriCup tournament for just the second time in the history of men's basketball in the country. Due to the timing of the third and final window of the FIBA AmeriCup 2025 qualifiers, it's already a foregone conclusion that Bahamian players from the NBA and Bahamian collegiate players will not be available to play. Bahamas faces Cuba in a must-win game next month for advancement to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup tournament, set for August 23rd through 31st in Nicaragua. The game against Cuba will be held Thursday right here in Nassau at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, starting at 8:40 p.m. 3 days later, the Bahamas will host the United States. That game also at Kendall Isaacs Gym, and will be held on Sunday, February 23rd at 7:10 p.m. The USA led the four-team group with a 3-1 win-loss record. Puerto Rico and Cuba both at 2-2, and the Bahamas bringing up the rear with a 1-3 record. Just the top three nations will advance to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup, which is sanctioned by FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, as the preeminent men's basketball tournament for the Americas. The Bahamas needs to beat Cuba by at least 14 points to stand a chance to advance. And the Nassau Cup, presented by the International Club Bahamas, continued this weekend at the John McEnroe Tennis Center at Bahamar. Read all about that in today's Guardian Sports section. And the Bahamas Football Association announcing a partnership with FIFA Plus that brings select featured matches to the BFA Men's Soccer League. Fans are able to watch featured games live or on demand via bahamasfa.net/FIFA Plus. You can read about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Jimmy Butler was back from suspension, and then Butler got suspended by the Miami Heat again. Butler's been suspended for the third time this month by the Heat, this one starting basically just as the second one was ending. The team said that Butler left Monday's shoot-around practice early in advance of a game against the Orlando Magic, something the team called, quote, intentionally withholding services. The suspension is without pay and indefinite for now, with the team saying it will last at least 5 games. Butler is expected to come back from his second Monday, only to be suspended for a third time. Butler, according to a person with knowledge of the situation, was told during the shoot-around that he was not going to be back in the starting lineup for that night's game against Orlando. He left the shoot-around not long afterward, according to the person who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. So the team statement saying that, quote, the Miami Heat are suspending Jimmy Butler without pay effective immediately for an indefinite period to last no fewer than 5 games. The suspension is due to a continued pattern of disregard of team rules, engaging in conduct detrimental to the team, and intentionally withholding services. This includes walking out of practice earlier today. Without Butler, the team rallied from a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter and beat Orlando 125-119 in double overtime. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a broad ridge of high pressure that's bringing stable conditions across the country. Meanwhile, the extension of a developing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas may support some cloudiness and light shower activity across the area later tonight. High pressure is going to continue to dominate while promoting generally fair weather conditions across most of the country, while that frontal boundary will support cloudier conditions and elevated shower chances near the southern islands. Windier conditions and elevated seas likely to be seen towards the end of the work week, as we will see high pressure strengthen. Winds and seas subside once again towards the end of the week and into the weekend as the robust high will move out of the area. So beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas are advised to exercise caution along Atlantic exposures due to the risk of rip currents. Your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, mostly sunny, less than a 10% chance of rain. Winds northerly at 10 knots or less, shifting northeasterly to northwesterly at times. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, partly cloudy at first, turning partly to mostly sunny by this afternoon. Again, less than a 10% chance for showers. Winds northerly at 8 to 12 knots, shifting northeasterly at times. And for the central and southeast Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds. About a 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers. Winds north to northeast at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times before increasing to 12 to 18 knots by this evening for the central islands. And easterly at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times, gradually backing northeasterly towards the end of the evening and increasing to 10 to 15 knots. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 77, 78 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit for the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence. Upper 60s for some parts south of us, central and southeast Bahamas. But even closer to the 60-degree mark for the extreme northern islands. That's what we're seeing right now. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
The end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Alpha Sounds Promotion presents Back to Love, an unforgettable evening of smooth R&B vibes and cherished memories. Join us at the Nassau Cruise Port on Saturday, February 15th for a spectacular all-white affair featuring live performances by soul sensations Freddie Jackson,
Hey everybody, it's Freddie Jackson. I'm coming to Nassau, Bahamas, and we are looking forward to the night of love.
also performing Regina Bell. Also featuring Bahamas' very own Essence Band. Back to Love. Saturday, February 15th. It's a spectacular all-white affair at the Nassau Cruise Port. Get tickets online. BahamasEtickets.com. Plantation Bar and Grill. Big Boys Cafe. And Tropics Bar and Grill. For more info, contact 822-6863.
And I hope to see you there.
Make it like it was. now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fix up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Who's there?
It's me!
Your future is knocking. Open the door to home ownership with the CIBC Caribbean Realtors Hub. Get pre-qualified for a mortgage, discover everything you need to know about buying a home, and connect with trusted realtors. Enjoy up to 95% financing, up to 35 years to repay, plus a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/Realtors Hub to get started today.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner. With increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools, take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duquesa Dean. Duquesa, good morning.
Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I want to thank Chester Robards for filling in for a couple of days there. Well, we got a lot to talk about this morning, a lot in the news, but also we're going to talk about the Dundas Center. Facing a lot of challenges over the past few years. They're trying to deal with their main theater and trying to raise some funds for major repairs. They're going to make an appeal, again, to the public to save this institution. That's coming up a little bit later in the show and into Morning Blend business as well. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, almost every day, U.S. President Donald Trump making a declaration, an executive order, challenging what is the status quo in the U.S. And, of course, it's going to have ripple effects all over the world.
Yes, it will.
And many watching immigration tightly to see the impact that's going to have on countries like the Bahamas. Yeah. A lot of people leave here to have their children in the U.S. so they can have citizenship. Yeah. But will you be able to do that if Trump gets his wish? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay. And I'm actually with Trump on this one. This is one of the few times you'll ever hear me say that, and I've been saying this for a while, that I think the Bahamas needs to seriously look at our policies as well.
Correct.
And we're going to get into that. I want to hear from you about this in just a bit. But, of course, the big headlines, just very disturbing situation. This young mother shot dead. And this is every Family Islander's fear, coming to that crazy place, Nassau, and something happening to you. And just wild. This young woman traveled to Nassau to give birth. I mean, this is what many Family Islanders do. Mm-hmm. It's what you do.
You come to the hospital.
Yeah. And that was... that would eventually, I guess, being in this place, cost her life. Her family responding to this now. Take a listen to this report from our Vonique Toot.
On the rolling multiple times. That's all it was. On the rolling. So I just get low.
Doddridge Conley says he was on the inside of his family's Meadow Street home on Sunday afternoon when he heard the sounds of gunshots being fired on the outside. His first inclination was to duck for cover. When he later emerged from the home, he discovered that his 23-year-old niece, Valeria Sands, had been shot and killed while sitting in a car. Once you heard the gunshots, you got low. At what point did you come out and find out it was your niece who had been shot?
I'm fine until after she done gone to the PMH. Because I get the baby and I was just looking out for the baby, not knowing who baby it was until I find out that's my niece baby. So that was a shock on top of that.
Conley says the young mother lived in Abaco and had only come to New Providence to give birth. News of her death has left her family members heartbroken.
Everyone crying and thirsty morning, midnight, and all that is. Mother ain't doing too good, grandma ain't doing too good. They on the island right now. She only come over that baby because she is in Abaco.
Police say two men exited a silver SUV after 3 p.m. Sunday and opened fire on a group of people gathered on Meadow Street. The suspects then drove south along Finlayson Street. Sands was taken in a private vehicle to hospital where she died a short time later. Conley, who is visiting from Eleuthera, says he does not believe his niece was the intended target.
To me, that just seemed like a random shooting anyway. She probably was just getting caught up in the snake.
He remembered Sands as a friendly and outgoing person whose tragic death has left a void in their family.
She is coival right now and she gone too soon. She left 3 children right now. I don't know what the baby daddies could do or whatever they feel, but she can need help. Even her old lady right now can need help. I mean, that's my sister. That's my oldest sister. And she have a little heart problems and things, pressure and things. So I sure that I'm going to sit well with her right now. And my old lady, oh boy, they weak. My old lady legs them gone and heart ain't right now. So I don't know how they take it on the island. I don't know. I try to check up on them, everybody right now. They in the morning.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Toot.
My goodness. Yeah.
Speechless.
Well, are you?
I am.
I mean, this is almost the norm now.
I know.
I mean, how many times did we talk about situations like this last year?
I know, but even though it's it happens on a fairly regular basis. I'm still speechless that this is happening in Nassau. Like, these are people are just sitting in their cars or driving in their cars and getting shot.
Yeah.
And the young girl came from Apico to give birth.
You know what's and clearly I have a problem, and I need therapy, because the only thing that had me speechless was a few weeks ago when we went many days into the new year without a murder. That was shocking to me, and that I could be there is a very bad sign, and that we're in a terrible place.
We are at a bad place. We are. So condolences to her family and all those who loved her. Unexpected, tragic deaths. They just tear you apart. So we extend our condolences to them. I mean, you could just be sitting down, Dwight, in a car, could roll up and shooting other people, and you get a stray bullet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And die.
Especially here. Let's talk about it, folks. Man, again, those kids, I think, how many kids did they say?
3.
3 now. And just really awful. That poor newborn will
newborn
never
baby.
know their mother.
Yeah. That's sad.
And this is it. When they're out to get you, they don't care.
No.
They will shoot everybody
Everyone
anywhere
else,
near you.
Correct.
And probably sleep very well.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's hear from you, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us. Facebook us. Text us. 422-4796. I want to hear from you on this. In a few minutes, I'm going to read these court stories showing you just exactly why folks feel they can do whatever they want around here, because we got a whole bunch of lawyers who are going to try to use the law, and maybe they are right to do it, use the law to get their accused clients
That's their job.
off the hook, or at least a much lighter sentence than they deserve. And our laws are...
How many years old?
And very easily manipulated. But, wow. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. 422-4796. Okay. Some text messages here. I'm not sure what you're saying. Dwight, did you ever see her TikTok video prediction for 2025? Who are we talking about? The victim here? What we?
Who?
I don't know. Who's the she? Her? I'm not sure. I wouldn't. I'm not on TikTok.
Me either.
And again, is that?
I don't know. We need to figure out who it is we're talking about
not sure
first.
who you mean. We're back in the same state as last year. Nothing has changed. Gun violence still rampant in Nassau. The laws are antiquated. Well, some are, some aren't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are doing what they want to do and often getting away with it. This texture says here, this will never change until there are real consequences and repercussions that truly match the crime.
And I agree. Yeah. And someone has to have the courage to start chopping this elephant down and disrupting the status quo. Someone has to have the courage to make the difficult decisions that people may not be happy with, but that will start to steer the country in the right direction.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi. You sound like you're on speaker. You got to get closer to the phone.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
If you're on speaker, we can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Not much of a difference.
Good morning to your guest. Dwight, can you hear me?
A little bit better. Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, listen, Dwight. Yeah, man, we give our condolence to the victim. The thing is, Dwight, we have to figure out what we can do with these guns. We now know lately, we now know how they're getting in the country. The people who we paying to protect the guns from coming into the country, they bringing them in. Now, what we got to do now is we need to give some more harsh penalties and charges when fellas are caught with these guns. we gotta send a strong message to Dwight, because everyone look like, if I have a problem with somebody, all I have to do is go pick up a gun and go kill the person. And then what? I find a lawyer and then they get me back out on bail. Is that fair to that family? So this is why we having a lot of these retaliatory killings. The government need to get serious with these guns, man. You understand? Now, with Trump, you see Trump doing what he needs to do with illegal immigration, but some people feel like he's going about it in an inhumane way. And I heard something on social media, one woman preacher against it, but what they want? Like, when you doing the right thing, then people have a problem. And when you're doing the wrong thing, people still get a problem the way. If the man cleaning up immigration and people in the country illegally, they have to come out just like in the Bahamas. Anyway, Dwight, man, you keep up the great job.
Thank you very much.
Blessed day.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your comments. Continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Golly days and starting the voice along with you. That's the Cresper, right?
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is.
Say it again?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Good morning.
How are you, the Cresper?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm holding. I feel sad about that situation where the lady had gotten killed.
Yes.
The thing is, I have sisters, I have nieces, grandnieces, great-grandnieces. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And, that's why, the thing is, boy, I don't know what to say, really. But the thing is, something needs to be given. Because there's too much violence in this country.
Yes.
Something needs to be done. And the police needs to do something. I mean, we have plenty cars, trucks, guys could be riding around all over the place. And it's not like they don't know the trouble areas, that makes people feel bad, man,
And the sad thing is, everywhere is a trouble area now. These lawless people, they going anywhere,
That's why the government, the police need to, be in stronger light. You see, because it doesn't make sense. Everybody just getting shoot up, killed up, and stuff like that. It's not nice. It's not decent.
Right.
Something needs to be given.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, the police are doing what they can. They can't prevent psychopaths
All of
from. They'll wait till the police pass and then they'll shoot you. So that's going to happen. We need to deal with why our people are so bloodthirsty and maniacal. Right? We need to deal with that. Why are we so angry? Why are you behaving the way you do? Why are you so quick to fight, to shoot, to chop, to stab, whatever it is? Why?
The mindset of a person that takes another person's life intentionally. Like I saw somebody was watching a video, and this young one was roughing up his mom. And he was like, oh, I kill people, right? Like, what's the mindset of a person that makes killing other people a job? Like, no, seriously, like, how do you develop the mindset and have a heart that's so hardened?
I mean, if there's money in it, I could see.
Yeah,
I mean, that's right.
Your heart has to be so hardened, though.
Well, that's because of the love of money. People are like,
Ooh,
when you believe you don't have any other skills, and this seems to be easy.
How do you reconcile that in your mind, though?
Well, this is going to get us in a totally different way. But, people we know we have a very talented nation, but a lot of people's talents are laughed at and scoffed at and ridiculed, right? And so when you think that you have no other options, you will go in that direction.
Okay.
So this goes back to parenting and being around the right people who will foster and influence you and nurture you in the right way to do.
Right.
Find your talent and
do something
with it. But if you're told that's stupid, you're no good, and you whatever, and this is the easiest thing for you, you'll go in that direction. And too many people are choosing those directions because of their environment.
Agree.
And you're not seeing any improvements in that. People are talking to each other worse than ever before.
Yeah. And more conflict resolution is not a thing here. People go from zero to a
you're
million.
encouraged to fight.
Yeah,
you're encouraged to deal with this.
It's no.
The total opposite of what you should be doing.
Correct.
Let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, DeQuesta.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Dwight. The money. I like to say, right, or like to believe that the number one industry for the last 20 years in this country wasn't tourism. It isn't tourism. It's crime, because the amount of the monies that does come out from crime in this country, right, and then having the type of politicians what we had over the years, these people love to make money, and it doesn't matter what type of business it is. Once it can make money for our government, is all they interested in. Because hey, I believe if they wasn't making money from the chaos in this country and the crime, we would have seen them make drastic measures to try to put the fear back in the citizens of this country. We can never expect for the citizens to one day wake up in a place what used to be a Christian nation and to be saved. The Bahamas is a chaotic zone, and we still pretending every day that one day all we have to do is the citizens have to do this and the citizens have to do that. But could we see the deterioration of the communities where these people live in? They ain't get no better. So when you walk out of your door, ain't everybody living out east and out west? So the people would have to wake up inside these areas where, just when you open up your door, it looked like a crime scene.
Wow.
They're literally living in crime scenes, right? But we are not taking the initiative to put fear in the crime and the criminal elements in this country. We giving them carte blank. 3 million, 7 million. One fella been on young guy been on a couple of years back, Dwight. You remember? For 6 million he was on bail, Dwight. And we still right here pretending and hoping that the people can come to their senses. But hey, the people really need to come to their senses and stop voting for these criminal-minded leaders who love crime and love to make money from crime. We have to put a stop to that, because they're demonstrating to us that, when it comes to crime in this country, we are not interested in that. We will tell you whatever you need to hear, want to hear, but we ain't gonna do nothing but it.
Oh boy! All right,
guys, have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. One more call, and I want to get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Are you there? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, pleasant day to you.
Hi.
Fine, and thank you. Now, I have a concern about the new time. When the time will change, it will be darker, and school children will be out even much earlier. I remember we had an incident with the late evening when the child was out. That's 5 o'clock or so. But when in the morning they wouldn't have a choice per se, because the parents will drop them off early, and when the time changes, it will be much darker. So I'm hoping that we can get things rectified and change things and standardize.
I don't understand
before something happens.
I mean, we do what the U.S. does, so we're going to do that, and
hopefully not.
We're going to do whatever they do.
Hopefully,
we don't have time to waste on that. You know that that's what it is. We've already talked about this at length. Some of us wanted to stay daylight time, and some of us wanted to stay standard time. But whatever the U.S. does, the Bahamas will do. So it doesn't matter what we think.
We don't have
apparently,
a mind.
No, and this is part of the problems why we have all these crime as well, because we don't have a mind of our own. This is a text here. Some people from a political party came campaigning by my house on Saturday. I told them my displeasure with crime and the minister responsible for it. I was told it's better to have him as a minister than a defense attorney. I was in shock and turned off. We are in trouble if that was their reasoning to keep someone as an MP. Well, you're talking about all kinds of things. MP or which one do you mean? It's their cabinet. They all think like that. So you have a problem with how they are handling it. It's not about the one minister at all. And I'm pretty sure you've had a problem with every minister of national security we've had in the last 20 years. So that should tell you something about people who run for office in our country. Dwight, you hear the amount of money they spend on crime a year. Who makes the majority of that?
It's a good question. Who?
The young lady, yes, we were talking about the TikTok. We just watched it
we saw it.
on someone said it to us.
We're only 20-something days in.
Well, I don't know what to say. Do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. Basically, the right thing has to be done within the right context. Just saying, I'm deporting people like people anyway I like because deporting people is right is not good enough. I don't think anyone's saying that. I don't think anybody was saying that, not even Trump, what you're saying. All right, let's take these calls before we take a break. Did anybody say it was going to deport people? I don't think that's what they're saying. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Duquesa.
Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful, but sad.
Yes.
Round and round and round we go.
Yep.
When will it stop? Nobody knows. You understand? My deepest sympathy goes out to the family of that innocent family islander that came into this hellhole of a place and lost her life. My deepest sympathy goes out to the family. Dwight, is there any truth to the alleged landing of a plane of immigrants yesterday? Is there any truth to that? You heard anything yet?
I've not heard anything. A plane of immigrants? What do you mean? Like what?
Yeah, I got some information late last night that 2 flights came in from the United States, 374 immigrants. I don't know how true it is.
These are tourists?
But,
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, what?
But if you walk all of tourists.
What does that mean? Like a bunch of people who were in fear of being deported caught a plane. They all, what type? Was it a commercial flight? I mean, how did this work?
2 flights. I know 2 flights came in.
I mean, this sounds like sense to you?
For true? I mean, how can we verify this?
That's why I'm asking you, Dwight.
They all organized. They got together, organized because we're in fear of being deported, and organized 2 flights to fly into the Bahamas, and they just landed where? Where did they land? Prince Charles Drive? What did they do?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
Let me ask my next question. Then.
Okay, let's move on.
Joni Joncano Thursday. I noticed, I've been following Joni Joncano for a couple of years now, and I noticed every Thursday they do that on Thursdays. Why? And then the children have to go back to school on Friday. Why they can't do it on Fridays? You think the merchants downtown has something to do with that, right?
No,
because
they've
the
explained
on Friday.
They've explained it's because of the Seventh-day Adventists.
7-day Adventists.
To include them.
Mm-hmm.
But Friday, eh?
Folks who celebrate the Sabbath.
Oh, you mean
Sabbath?
Sabbath.
Yeah, observe the Sabbath.
Oh, that's how they say it. Okay, then I
Yes.
just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's been the policy
Thank
for
you.
many years. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Hey, good morning, Duquesa.
Good morning.
As usual, all the callers, in my humble view, have been hitting the nails squarely on the heads. We've been talking and giving our point of view on the various things in this country that needs addressing urgently. And, some persons would look at it as complaining, but no, we are just concerned citizens who knew what our country really looked like before and what it is today. We'd like to see some improvements back toward where we once were in a society where we had some sort of stability instead of this chaos. Crime, we talk, first of all, let me give my condolences also to the family members of the family island that came here just to have a child, but ended up being a statistic. It's really sad from that aspect to be talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of we can talk about.
Are you there?
in terms of the guns and everything, the police for some time have alleged that they knew exactly how these guns are getting in, but yet they still seem to be prevalent in the country. I mean, who is bringing these guns in, and when is the truth really going to be told on how we're going to stem the tide of guns here? And then my final point is the immigration issue. First and foremost, according to our Constitution or the Penal Code, coming into this country unknowingly, no one knows you're here. You didn't come through the correct way. It's actually a criminal act. And yet it seems as if many of the persons who entered this country, whether it's under the guise of an asylum, which they did not officially get from our government, or whatever, as long as you land in this country unbeknownst and did not come the right way, it is a criminal act. Why are we not treating this thing as a criminal act? Why have the deportations ceased? It seems, because I haven't heard of any flights flying these people back out of here. And let me get this straight right now. We're not just talking about the Haitians. We're talking about the Hondurans. We're talking about the Guyanese. We're talking about the Americans. We're talking about the Canadians. We're talking about everybody across the spectrum. Why have these flights stopped? We aren't hearing anything, but we see an influx of new faces here. And, I can tell you one or two stories of persons right now who no longer than yesterday were asked for documents, and the excuse was their documents got destroyed. They don't have any. So how is it that you're walking about with no documents? We can't identify you. We don't know who you are. But it seems as if there's no alarms going up to the crisis that we are in. And to these persons who know that these persons have guns in their possessions in these communities, and if you're not raising the alarm to let the authorities know what's going on, then you're part of the problem and not part of the solution. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's read these messages as we go to the break. This person says here, we have lazy reactive governance and policies because we as a citizenry are the exact same way. Ask the average Bahamian what our officials' roles are as it relates to the stewardship of our beautiful country. Most don't have a clue. How do we manage your employees? We employ all of them. If we believe that we assess our employees every 5 years. Okay. If we are serious about real and progressive change, how about getting together on Bay Street for something other than a good time? We get what we get because we do not demand more. The problem is our politicians. It's us. Grammys say, if you love it, let it kill you. Okay. I'm so disgusted with all this senseless killing in Nassau. The police commissioner stepped down. Now I think the Minister of National Security should do the right thing and follow suit. Okay, and then what? What'll maybe you're right, but what'll happen then? That a different person in charge would mean suddenly the dark clouds are removed and everybody will change and nobody will want a gun anymore?
No, I guess it'll make it okay if someone who was not a defense lawyer does the same thing that he's doing, which is nothing.
Mm-hmm. He's also a judge.
Right. So maybe, they're still doing nothing.
Okay. We've had doctors in the role. We've had...
But not enough. Let me don't say nothing. Maybe just anything. Not enough.
And yet, here we are. It's something else that is the issue.
Yeah.
A lot of issues are the issue. A whole lot. And our people
are a big part of that.
Are probably the biggest part of the issue.
Part of that.
And what are we doing about that?
No, but it's
do we need a minister of people?
No, we need systems that work, and we need people to have evidence and proof of consequences. Mm-hmm. So those who aren't nurtured properly understand that if they have these different sorts of infractions, there'll be penalties, which could help curb some of their actions.
Definitely agree with that.
But
there needs to be a crackdown on everything. The little things.
Right.
Right? You can't do that. You can't overtake in the
Right,
opposite direction
just
of
the
traffic
small
500
things.
cars, drive on the sidewalk and park your car
And
in
kill
a median.
someone in the process.
You can't do that.
And knock someone down.
And expect to get away with it.
Yeah.
So don't even think about killing somebody. But here, if you see a sign saying don't do it,
that's what's going to happen. I don't mean to laugh, but without enforcement, what's the point?
We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Does that make me crazy? but think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now, who do you think you are? Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work that is going on Cowpen Road. There's still paving, so you got to move slow if you're in the area. They're preparing for paving just west of Blue Hill Road, and you're going to want to take it easy if you're in that part of the island. As we're waiting for work to resume there. In your real-time traffic right now, we're seeing heavy traffic on Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, and especially on the way to Robinson Road. So once you get west of Beatrice Avenue, you're going to be seeing that westbound traffic. And west of Soldier Robinson, you're parked between Soldier and East-West Highway Marathon Road. Also busy for you eastbound, just east of Marathon to about Old Trail. Then we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Carmichael backed up as well, eastbound to Blue Hill. And Milo Butler Highway, very heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway this morning. So this is just north of Carmichael. You'll run into that traffic if you're heading northbound, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Haven't seen it like this in a long time, folks. They're very unusual, and traffic, of course, backed up both directions on Fire Trail. Faith Avenue, not looking pretty if you're heading northbound on Faith Avenue trying to get to Fire Trail. And there are a lot of lunatic drivers on Faith Avenue overtaking all the time there for some strange reason. Carmichael westbound, slow-moving traffic if you're making your way out to Coral Harbor Road, Eastern Road also, as usual. From San Souci to Johnson Road, slow-moving westbound traffic for you. That's what we're seeing right now. That's your real-time traffic in your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. Got time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a broad ridge of high pressure promoting fairly stable weather conditions across the country. Meanwhile, the extension of a developing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas may support some cloudiness and light shower activity across that area later tonight. For today, for most areas, partly cloudy to partly sunny, and eventually mostly sunny as we head closer to the afternoon. So a mix of sun and clouds. Less than 10% chance of showers in the northern and northwest Bahamas, but 20 to 30% chance of showers for the central and southeastern islands. We're looking at highs near 77, 78 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. A little cooler. That's 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. A little cooler for the extreme northern islands overnight. In your extended outlook, we're looking at partly cloudy conditions across the southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny elsewhere. For Thursday, pretty much the same. And Friday, partly cloudy with occasional cloudy periods. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend in just a bit here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what I say, buddy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying, too? What does do? Check the website once.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
I've been up at Penda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Penda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something, them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in, 8x48, 12x24, 24x24, and what I really like more than the things I really like is $2.5 a square foot to $4.94 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that, not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
This is a public service announcement from CIBC Caribbean. We wish to remind our clients that if they receive a text message from a number purporting to be CIBC Caribbean, remember, CIBC Caribbean will never send you an SMS text message advising that your account has been restricted and it requires you to click on a link. CIBC Caribbean will never contact you over the phone or via an email, instant messaging, or SMS text message asking you to share your username, password, or one-time verification code. Do not click on any link purporting to be CIBC Caribbean received via SMS text message. Stay safe online and be vigilant in your everyday activity.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahamar Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving back and supporting healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating live entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshosp.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Maya Rassin Foundation. 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. And I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now, who do you?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:24, time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a broad ridge of high pressure promoting fairly stable weather conditions across the country. Meanwhile, the extension of a developing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas may support some cloudiness and light shower activity over that area later today. So for today, for most areas, partly cloudy to partly sunny to mostly sunny by this afternoon. Only about, less than 10% chance of showers for the northern and northwest Bahamas, a 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers for the central and southeastern islands. High temperatures in the upper 70s for most areas today, lows in the low 60s for most areas. Over in your extended outlook, we're looking at partly cloudy conditions across the southeast Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny elsewhere for Wednesday. For Thursday, pretty much the same thing. And by Friday, partly cloudy with occasional cloudy periods, a mix of sun and clouds for Saturday and for most of your weekend. That's your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. time for another check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, Milo Butler Highway still looking busy for you, improving from our last check-in, but as you get closer, you're heading northbound from about Hamster Road or Alexandria Road. You're going to see that heavy traffic if you are approaching Fire Trail on the Fire Trail roundabout, and that's going to continue all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, the northbound lanes. Traffic eastbound on Fire Trail still pretty busy for you this morning. Your alternate route of Gladstone Road also slow moving for you this morning, but traffic is backed up along John F. Kennedy Drive in both directions, especially eastbound along Lake Cunningham and westbound from the Harold Road and Prospect Ridge Road, especially near Theodore Lane. You're going to be seeing traffic in both directions there on JFK Drive. That picks up again at the six-legged roundabout, eastbound on JFK, northbound on Milo Butler Highway from Sports Center Road especially, and southbound on your Providence Highway. Major issues for you there. Then Saunders Beach, West Bay Street, you're going to be seeing slow-moving eastbound traffic as you approach that roundabout with your Providence Highway, and slow-moving eastbound traffic along West Bay near Arawak Key. Prince Charles Drive still busy for you, east and west of Beatrice Avenue especially. It's mainly slow-moving westbound traffic heading into Robinson Road and Eastern Road. You're still seeing heavy traffic from Sans Souci to about Johnson Road this morning. It's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each. The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
This is a public service announcement from CIBC Caribbean. We wish to remind our clients that if they receive a text message from a number purporting to be CIBC Caribbean, remember, CIBC Caribbean will never send you an SMS text message advising that your account has been restricted and it requires you to click on a link. CIBC Caribbean will never contact you over the phone or via an email, instant messaging, or SMS text message asking you to share your username, password, or one-time verification code. Do not click on any link purporting to be CIBC Caribbean received via SMS text message. Stay safe online and be vigilant in your everyday activity.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Are you craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single, a classic, or spicy chicken sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on flavor. Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Wake up, it's a new day.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? And all that you were having the time of your life. But think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now, who do you are? Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me.
We're back with Morning Blends on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the Dundas, Save the Dundas campaign, and why that's so desperately needed. Stay tuned for that, folks. We continue to talk about the issues in the news and this horrible situation with this mother, young mother, just having given birth, coming to Nassau to give birth, and shot. It appears in the crossfire just a few days later, sitting in a vehicle.
Sitting in a car.
Yeah. So we're getting a reaction to all of this. And a lot of folks are saying the same thing. It's a lack of consequences for people who have broken the law, leading to these issues that we're seeing. I just want to read a couple of court cases in the news today, and you can see the patterns in this. But this story here: lawyer argues for a reduced sentence for client convicted of murder. R.T.Z. Davis writing about it. A man convicted of a murder and attempted murder that occurred 14 years ago is, according to his lawyer, entitled to a reduced sentence because he wasn't tried within a reasonable time as guaranteed by the Constitution.
But he guilty.
Yeah, but he wasn't tried in a reasonable time.
Okay.
Public defender James Thompson suggested that Donaldo Farrington receive a sentence in the range of 10 to 20 years for the murder and 7 to 10 years for attempted murder. Farrington was convicted of the December 28, 2009 murder of Teron Albury and the attempted murders of Kennard McSweeney and Alexander McSweeney at a bar in Gregorytown in Eleuthera. That was 2009. Yeah? The prosecutor Janessa Murray, did not agree that Farrington should get a reduced sentence despite the delay in bringing him to trial. In her view, Farrington was only entitled to receive credit for the 15 months that he spent on remand before he was released on bail. She told Justice Neil Brathwaite that society needed protection from people like Farrington. Murray recommended a sentence of 45 years for the murder and concurrent sentences of 30 years for the attempted murders. Farrington, according to the evidence, had a verbal altercation over access to a restroom in a bar with Kennard McSweeney that turned physical. McSweeney was prevented from using the men's bathroom because Farrington's girlfriend was in there. When McSweeney suggested that Farrington's girlfriend use the designated bathroom, Farrington pulled a knife and started swinging.
Wow.
Other men, including the deceased, tried to intervene in the dispute and were stabbed.
Wow. So he is going to jail.
Well, they're trying to determine. Brathwaite, the judge, is going to decide on the sentencing next month.
Because he was protecting his girlfriend who was using the men's bathroom. That's a cause to go to jail. That's the cause, right?
Well, he killed somebody.
Right, because his girlfriend was using the men's bathroom.
The men's room.
And he felt that that was a cause to defend to the place of murdering someone.
And stabbing other people.
And stabbing other people. Powerful.
I mean, he might have felt that she was in danger, but this is.
And I'm hearing that what you just read just now blew my mind. He was on remand for 15 months, so he's been free all this time. Is that what that article is suggesting?
Of course,
that he was on
the least surprising part of the story.
No, because you've been on remand only 15 months, and you around here talking about you want leniency because it took long for the case to come to court.
This has happened often.
And you've been free.
A lot.
And you've been free. Crazy.
Wow.
That's my opinion. That's insane. Get credit for the 15 months you were on remand and be in jail for the rest of your sentence. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, so let's get your reaction to all of it, folks. Continue to send your text messages, 422-4796. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and toll free, 242-300-5720. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and welcome back. Good morning, DeQuesta.
Thank
you very much.
You know, Dwight, as you listened to you as you read this attorney's submission, you know, it just beholds me to see why a lawyer would even try to pursue something like this. But DeQuesta said basically what I was going to say. You know, give him the credit for the 16 months, you know. But if I were the judge, I would attack on some more years on that for him even approaching the court in this regard, because it's obvious he has no remorse, you know. But then it goes right back to how easily one can lose their lives and how many persons are losing their lives. Very simple thing that you could resolve in a second if you use common sense and intelligence. But for whatever reason, successive governments have allowed this thing to fester. Just to give you, and I'm not, these statistics that I'm talking about here, what I'm going to say, I'm not saying this to justify our reckless and out of control behavior. In Trinidad, the murder count for the year is a whopping 28. 28 for the year, and we're still in January.
Wow.
And I'm only saying that, you know, just to hope that our legislators are listening so we don't end up in a similar predicament where, you know, public safety has no value no more. You know, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm going to try my best under the leadership. And you may have a problem with my comment, but it is what it is. But I'm going to take steps as an activist in this country to reach out to the political and economic officer in the U.S. Embassy to see if they can put some heat on our government to create common sense legislation and policies, to make us more safe in our country. And I'm happy that Donald Trump is president. It's finally being an alpha male. And I hope that he would rain fire and brimstone on these third world banana republic countries, Caribbean countries, to follow suit. Because a lot of these criminals, especially those ones who we've been granting citizenship to like candy, end up in the United States. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those hardened criminals that ICE is now dealing with end up right back here in the Bahamas. Because I honestly don't know what we are thinking. I don't know what we are thinking, but these politicians, for whatever reason, they don't want to legislate and they don't want to create policy. It's all to them about fortune and fame and being a celebrity for 5 years. But they're not serious about working hard. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but they definitely isn't serious about working hard, because look around and tell me anything significant over the last 20 years that they have done that would impact our lives in a positive way. Who cares about any taxi plate or crown line or liquor license? It's about public safety now, sir. But for whatever reason, they're not doing anything significant.
Okay.
Other than perusing around doing nonsense, fighting over juvenile matters that could be resolved in seconds. But we're going to get some results as activists in this country. You watch and you see. Mark it on this same day. You can get some positive results.
Okay. All right. Interesting comments.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is an alpha male. Okay.
Well, I
That's good to
certainly
know.
hope those criminals don't get returned here, because we are already in a bad state.
I mean, would they be worse than the ones here already?
We don't need to add to it.
Sure.
We just don't need to add to it.
Let's take some more calls and then we got to go to a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
And good morning to you, your guests as well. I was waiting on these callers to try to place the blame on these. I called it just now. We all know who he talking about. He talking about the Haitians, right? He wasn't direct, but we all know he was talking about these foreigners who was granted their passports and is now in the States. Bahamas, you can't blame everything on the Haitians, okay? You can't blame all the crime on the Haitians or persons of Haitian descent, okay? And until y'all realize that, this country will not get anywhere, okay? Thanks a lot, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll take this final call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to Kwasa.
Good morning.
About this delay in the trial. See, that is a breakdown in which the government fails to deal with things judiciously, like the Bible says. Justice shall be swift, and give the lawyers them excuse to try and get people off. On the other issue with the young lady that lost her life, do you remember Dwight and Tequesta, the young man that came from Abaco that was killed by one of the stalls at a bridge a couple of years ago?
No.
I think he came in that same day
Wow.
and was there by the stall, came to a family function, and he lost his life by someone shooting, and it was not really even intended for him. I say that because when the leaders of this country hasn't taken care of the social necessary factors of, like some place like Abaco, not putting in place the stuff that people need to take care of medical use, that lady should not have had to come to Nassau just to have a baby. Remember, I made the offer that I would personally donate dialysis machines in Crooked Island and San Salvador, because remember, the leader of this nation right now has been in power, has been representing Rumkeys in Salvador and Cat Island since before 2000 or before 2002 when the Perry administration came into power, right? And like all of our clinics in the islands should have at least the dialysis machines and the necessary factors of like being able to deliver babies, because I mean, and this serves true that with tourism, that the tourists, let's say a place like Club Med in St. Sal, those people can't even bring their loved ones who may be on dialysis because they can't get the treatment there when they would spend a whole week. Right?
No, we need change. Absolutely, something has to be done. It doesn't make sense that we have to come from miles away for treatment.
Of this country and leaving the necessary services out, but a $250,000 BMW and $250,000 elevator is more important, and film jokers skedaddle.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Some messages as we go to the break. This person says here, you're only happy that Donald Trump is president until the policies affect you. Let him introduce tariffs and food and double your already high food bills, and you'll be screaming from the rooftop. By the way, it was reported yesterday that a number of Navajo Indians or Native Americans were detained by immigration and asked to prove that they belong in the United States. Indigenous people, First Nation people detained. America is great again. That's a text. All right. And this text here, is it fraudulent to buy a passport, driver's license, voter's card? This is a joke. What are you asking?
Right.
Do you know there are 900,000 immigrants from Haiti in the U.S. that are being deported to the Bahamas? This again, you keep saying these things. Why are we allowing... Okay, I'm not going to continue to read it. Let's go to the break. When we come back, we're changing gears. We're going to talk about the Dundas, saving this institution. And we'll talk more about the immigration issues a little bit later in business. But that's all ahead. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors: Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Azure. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in the series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pender Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Are you unemployed and seeking a plan that can give you quality health care at discounted rates? Unlock affordable health care with Doctors Hospital's LAMP. Enjoy unlimited primary care visits, exclusive discounts of up to 20%, and complimentary imaging and nutrition services. Visit doctorshosp.com/LAMP to register. Comprehensive, cost-effective wellness starts with LAMP.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Printmasters bring bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This is a public service announcement from CIBC Caribbean. We wish to remind our clients that if they receive a text message from a number purporting to be CIBC Caribbean, remember, CIBC Caribbean will never send you an SMS text message advising that your account has been restricted and it requires you to click on a link. CIBC Caribbean will never contact you over the phone or via an email, instant messaging, or SMS text message asking you to share your username, password, or one-time verification code. Do not click on any link purporting to be CIBC Caribbean received via SMS text message. Stay safe online and be vigilant in your everyday activity.
When I think of those East End lights, muggy nights, the curtains drawn in the little room downstairs. Prima Donna, Lord, you really should have been there, sitting like a princess perched in her electric chair. And this one more beer, and I don't hear you anymore. We've all gone crazy lately, my friends out there rolling round the basement floor. And someone saved my life tonight, Sugar Bear. You almost had your hooks in me, didn't you, dear? You nearly had me roped and tied. All about hypnotized, sweet freedom whispered in my ear. You're a butterfly, and butterflies are free to fly. Fly away, high away, bye bye.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean and the Dundas. This institution, so many decades, is in danger. Danger of closing down permanently.
Yep.
This is very, very sad, very serious, and Save the Dundas campaign is underway. We've got with us Dr. Nicolette Bethel and Leah Forbes to talk about it. Great to have you. Welcome. Good to see you as always.
Thank you.
All right, so we know there's been you've been having a few issues since the pandemic, but it's getting to a critical point, it seems.
Yeah, basically the issue is the Dundas is basically self-supporting, and we have now 2 theaters. If we only had one, we would be closed. We have 2 theaters. One is a 330-seat theater. That's our revenue maker, right? And the other one is a 70 to 80-seat theater, and that's open. It's open all the time, but that just can't cover the overhead. And we've been going like this. We have not. The main theater has been closed since COVID because the air conditioning died, and we cannot put people in there. We cannot perform in there. We cannot invite audiences in there without the air conditioning, and to replace it is pretty astronomical. The issue that we also have is that it's been like that since 2020, and the theater has been sitting unused for now 5 years, and that does it's almost 100 years old. It's an 80-year-old building, and that does things to the structure. So we had to face the fact that if we don't get an injection of capital now, really, we will be closed within 3 years' time.
So now it's bigger than just the air conditioning issue.
Oh yeah. Right. Oh yes. I mean, it has to be. So so there's the air conditioning, and then we had that little blow that was Hurricane Isaias, and that blew down a tree on top of one of our roofs, like an extension roof. So there's like a gaping hole in the roof, and there's just a lot of wear and tear that, because you're not occupying the space, and because we just don't have, just covering the overhead just covering the electricity and keeping the black box open is what we can manage with 70 seats. And the fact that we only have one theater that's open, and that theater is in use a lot, right? That is generating revenue, but part of our revenue also comes from rentals. And the rentals are, you cannot charge that much for a rental for a space the size of the black box. So it's wonderful. We have a lot of support. We have a lot of interest. We have a lot of people who are there all the time and volunteering their time. But we need serious investment of capital in the building and the grounds. Just to give you some idea of like the cost of keeping the Dundas open, when the air conditioning was working and the main theater was open and running, our electricity bill would be $3,000 a month.
My goodness.
But we now have to rely more on the back and the grounds. And the grounds, people may notice, look a little derelict. Well, that's because it costs $3,000 to clear the grounds. It's that big. So every time we want to get them cleared, that's another $3,000. Now you just don't have, I mean, you're looking at me funny, but you don't really have an idea of how big that space is.
It's the front and the back.
It's huge. It is huge. And the other thing that we have is that ever since Hurricane Matthew, our perimeter wall was knocked down, and we have not been able to afford repair of the wall. The wall itself, if we want to repair it and enclose the property, that's another $100,000. It's like we ain't talking a little change. Yeah. And because we can't secure the property, it is a thoroughfare for people. People are walking through. I was there Sunday, and there was a family walking through with their groceries, pushing their little cart through the Dundas. Not only that, we have a space in the back where we were storing things. And I don't even know who to call it. Anyway, the people who decided that they own that space, every time we block it up, they unblock it and they move into the space. So we have a real challenge, and it's going to take some serious investment to address it. And we are all volunteers.
Yeah.
The people who we had on staff are on furlough. Like we owe them a good
change.
$150,000 in back pay, if not more.
Wow. So you've identified a number that you.
Oh yes, we have many numbers.
Okay.
We have the reopening number. And the reopening number is now up to $400,000. Originally, it was $150,000 just to deal with the air conditioning, but that was in 2022.
Right.
Now we're in 2025, and the kinds of things that have happened, and the kinds of things that we need, and the fact that the people who are volunteering and are now 3 years older, and we weren't that young to start with. We need also to be thinking about bringing in new blood who actually are working. We need to start staffing the space because it is really run by volunteers. And so, we're looking at $400,000.
And does that take care of the money that you owed the staff?
It will begin to address that. Okay. No, I mean, it will enable us to open. And if we open again, then we will be generating money that we can then reallocate, right? But the issue is if we can't open the main stage, and the problem is, you sit there, it's not just the building, it's also the seats, it's also, we've had all kinds of different wildlife that have taken up residence inside the Dundas. There is a reptile that lives in there that one of our fundraisers, I see Dwight's face, one of our fundraisers.
What type of reptile?
Well, he calls it a dinosaur. Wow. It's a big, it's a very big curly tail lizard, iguana-sized.
Iguana-sized.
Yeah, and every now and then, I don't know if it's still there. Every now and then, it will come out and have a look and greet.
To name them.
Yes, and greet the people. We used to have, obviously, we're in Centerville. We used to have a problem with rats. We don't have a problem with rats anymore because there was an owl that took up residence inside the Dundas.
Wow.
And that took care of the rats. But then we now have an owl.
Wow.
And the owl's using the theater as a bathroom, then you've got a big issue.
Yeah. So we believe that its home was the lighting booth. We can see where it got into the lighting booth. And so I have a feeling that we have to replace the lighting booth.
All right, so $400,000 to reopen, but I mean to get it to where you want it to be.
about
what
1.5 million.
Yeah. My goodness. All right. So we're going to break for news headlines. When we come back, we have a whole lot of questions. People are asking questions as well.
Thank you.
And why we in 2025 don't have the type of corporate community that would be regularly donating to an institution like the Dundas.
You're asking me that question?
That's what I'm going to ask you when we come back after the news.
Okay.
So get your answers ready for that one. We're talking with Dr. Nicolette Bethel and Leo, trying to save the Dundas folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean, and we are continuing a conversation we started in our 8 o'clock hour about the Dundas. A Save the Dundas campaign is underway. If it can't be saved, of course, it will go out of existence, and we can't have that. We're talking with Dr. Nicolette Bethel and Leah Forbes, and I'm trying to get to an understanding of what has led to this point. And it's been 5 years, a long 5 years, painful 5 years for the Dundas and for all of us theater goers and lovers as well. All right, so we're getting good questions from who owns the Dundas. Tell us about the structure.
That's such a great question. The Dundas is it's a trust. It is probably the earliest civic trust that is still in existence today. It was founded in 1930 as a civic center or a civic organization to help to rebuild the over the hill community and to bring back opportunities for the people there in the wake of the 1929 hurricane, which devastated New Providence in ways similar to Abaco and Grand Bahama, but without the same level of death. So the Dundas was it was formed as a civic center. It was called the Nassau Improvement Association. And then in 1940, that having been run for 10 years, it was at that time a training center. It was designed to give people opportunities, to give people training, to give people, and to create an employment registry. And then in 1940, the Dundas Civic Center was incorporated as a trust. And so the model that you can look at would be similar to the National Trust and the Ranfilly Home, both of them who came after. But this is before you get sort of like corporations and other things like current government organizations. So this is something that goes way back to 1940. Wow. And it's basically held in trust. So the land was purchased in 1940. And it is held in trust by a board of directors for the Bahamian community. So it is a community theater. In it was originally a place where a lot of people were trained as domestics. It was the precursor to the hotel training college, basically. People were trained as domestics, seamstresses, servants of various kinds. You can tell the society in which it grew up. But it did give people opportunities. And it did give people the ability to earn money. And people who went through that training were very proud of having made it through. Wow. But by the time you get to the 1950s, of course, people are no longer interested in being servants.
Right.
And so the need for the Dundas died, but the space was there and the building was there. And so it just was kind of like taken over by amateur dramatic societies. And in 1970, it was reincorporated, a resolution of the board, changed the purpose of the Dundas from being a general civic center to a cultural center,
Okay.
a center that invested in the development of the cultural arts and so on. And that's where we've been. So we've had 55 years of that structure. And yeah, so now we've just recently reorganized, because what we inherited from that 1970 thing was a corporate structure. It was a structure in which the members were all performing arts groups, which basically in the 50 years intervening have died. They've disappeared.
goodness.
There's none of them are left.
Yeah.
So we had to reincorporate.
How many would they have been?
Well, it started off with 5, and then it was up to 9.
My goodness.
And the only one that is still functional would be Track Road Theatre, which was the last one to join.
Yeah.
Track Road Theatre Foundation. And that would have joined in the early 2000s. But the others, like the Nassau Amateur Operatic Society, ceased functioning. The Nassau Players ceased functioning. The Bahama Drama Circle. These are things that people who might have grown up in theater in the 50s, 60s, and 70s would recognize, 80s even. But there are many, things have changed. So we now have a board of directors, which is more in keeping with what you'd see with most nonprofits. We have mostly an actor-manager model. So many of our directors are from the theater community. But we also have a couple of other people who are on, for example, we'd like to maintain links with, say, the University of the Bahamas and other people who have been supportive of the Dundas. And so currently I'm the chair of that board of directors, but that's what it is. And there is no, unlike the National Trust, there's no public investment in it. There's no corporate investment in it. Unlike the two ones that were established at the same time, the Dundas is entirely self-supporting. And it might be because people look at it as a business. You put on productions, you raise money. You don't need the money like the National Trust needs or the Ranfurly Home, but we need the capital. You can raise your operating funds to some degree, but you can't deal with capital challenges. And we have a building that is 80 years old that needs a lot more than what we can raise in a year from.
Wow. So donations were sporadic. They weren't. It wasn't.
Donation never ever.
Non-existent.
Basically non-existent. Yeah. I mean, I say basically non-existent. We have 1 or 2 sterling supporters. The only reason we are still open is because of at least one individual who has invested a lot of money, but one individual cannot do it.
Right. So there's nothing in the structure that's preventing corporate Bahamas from making donations.
No, the same way that corporate Bahamas could support the Ranfurly Home and support the National Trust, they could support the Dundas. There's nothing stopping it.
All right, now the Ranfurly Home makes appeals all the time. Do you think that's the difference that you?
No, I don't think that's the difference. I think the difference. I mean, they're a home for children. They're an obvious charity. Right. People don't think of theater as an obvious charity. Right. They don't think of it as a charity, right? And the National Trust, everybody could see where the expenditure goes, but they don't know how the money comes in. People look at a theater and they say, "Oh, Hollywood, right? You're making money,
you're selling tickets,
right? Right." And I think that's part of the issue. I think another part of the issue is Bahamians like new things, and the Dundas does not look new, and it doesn't necessarily. And it's also apparently, I'm told, in the ghetto.
What?
So I'm told, and it's I know that, and you know that, but other people don't seem to know that. There are a lot of people who now live west.
Right, I was gonna say, if you live on the extremes of the island, perhaps you'll consider that.
They don't even come into Mackey Street. They might not even recognize Mackey Street. Right?
Only the perimeter drives.
Yeah.
Right.
So as you were talking about what it used to be in terms of a training place for that area and time when Bahamians were in those roles, I started to think about the impact that it has culturally and why it's necessary to keep it open. When you think about the way that it's impacted culture in the Bahamas from a theater standpoint, what would you say is the greatest value to that? That would have people say, oh, it's a no-brainer, we need to keep this going.
I think I could let Leah talk about that.
So I would say this. Being a part of the Dundas has changed my life personally, and I feel as though it is such a hub for community. People bond when they come there. And I always tell people, once you come to the Dundas, you don't leave. Like, once you see a production, you get so enthralled in it, and you love it, and you want to come back, and you want to support. I think a lot of it is getting people to come in, to see that sense of community, and to feel the love and the effort and the hard work that goes into each and every production. And so a lot of the challenge, I think, too, like Dr. Batho said, is people don't know that it's there. From the street, I've heard people say it looks closed.
Right, it does.
They see the gate open and they're like, oh, well, nothing's happening.
Right.
I had some people who came and they said they came to the show and they saw the door was closed. So because the front door was closed, they didn't know that there's the black
drive
box
around the back.
around the back. And so a lot of it is getting information out there, and also people being open to come to the Dundas and to be a part of the community that we build there.
I know off air we were talking about, as a little girl, me and some of my friends were in productions, and there are other young people now that I know who are still in production for theater shows, and it could have such a great market value here. So nostalgically, when you speak to the people who have come through the Dundas in productions, what would you say to them? What would you say to them, now?
I would say, go ahead. No, I would say consider giving back now.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. You could give back. There's many ways. We have a couple of different options. Every time come and see our shows. Every time you buy a ticket, you can add on. If you buy online, you can add on a little donation, $10. Let me tell you something. When we first made our appeal at the end of 2022, and we went into our year of Bahamian theater in 2023, because you're asking about why it's important. We don't have enough time.
You got that.
But one of the things is that I don't think Bahamians have a real understanding of how strong the theater tradition is in the Bahamas. In the 60s and 70s, the Bahamas was recognized as having one of the best theater traditions in the Caribbean.
Wow.
At that time, I should say in the 80s. And it kind of went away for a while because there was a different board in place in the Dundas, and they decided to stop producing theater and just to rent. And that, and that basically made the theater go downhill for about 20 years. But we have been producing theater in the Dundas since 2014, when the current managers took over Rinkley Productions, and we've been doing a Rinkley season, and we've been hosting Shakespeare in Paradise. Theater has been going on in the Dundas now
We're in the middle of our season now.
Yes,
Lots of plays
exactly, for 11 years.
I didn't know that.
But we have also been at the heart of any major production that you can think of, from any independence show, including the 1973 one, all the way up to whatever we did for the 50th anniversary to Junkanoo in Paradise.
Yeah.
Every single one of those has a link with or a foundation in or a beginning in the Dundas.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think's contributed to this? I mean, you mentioned what happened at the Dundas, but we know we have so much going on in Grand Bahama often. So this is in our blood to be theatrical, I guess. But it doesn't seem like a lot of people are aware. What are we doing wrong? What has changed here?
Well, I mean, one of the things that has changed here is media, right? Like the Dundas was central, and people knew what was going on when we had one radio station, and we could go on and talk on ZNS, and everybody would hear about it all through the Bahamas.
Right.
Go on ZNS when you cover the whole Bahamas, and that was the only place. And when there were two newspapers, all you had to do was take out an ad on ZNS an ad on ZNS TV 13 after the news or in the news, and then ads in the Guardian and the Tribune, and boom, people knew
You
what was
reach
going
everyone,
on.
Yeah.
right.
But how do you make that happen again, given the proliferation of information that's out there? Again, I'm going to turn it over to Leah, because one of the things that happened was when I announced at the end of Shakespeare in Paradise to our people in Shakespeare in Paradise that we only had maybe 4 more years. They were like, oh no, this can't happen. And I'll let Leah tell you what happened after that.
Yeah. So after that, we, a lot of the young persons and older persons who were there, we would have formed groups. We had our community group, we had our fundraising group, we had our promotions group, and everybody really stepped up and we're trying to find ways to help the Dundas to go forward and to be what we know it could be.
Right.
You know, like Doc said, there's this competition now between social media, there's this competition now between Netflix, and we may not ordinarily think of them as competition, but people sitting down on a Saturday night and they binge watching Stranger Things instead of coming out to the Dundas and spending that $30. But a lot of it too is also for us to get the word out, doing a lot of these shows, letting people know that we're here. It is an interesting thing. The Dundas is great. And so we have a lot of fundraising initiatives coming up this year. I don't know if we could segue
Yeah, we should.
into that.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay,
but
we'll get to that in a second.
before we do, so we know that in other parts of the world, companies are incentivized to give. We don't quite have that here. But what do you think would cause more from corporate Bahamas, more action from corporate Bahamas?
Well, I think it needs to look better. I mean, we have very much a, this is an anti-7-Up kind of society, right? Image is nothing, right? No, image is everything in the Bahamas. And the Dundas does not have the image that is really appealing to people. We live in the world of Bahamar and the second level Atlantis. That is, and the port, right? That is not what we're offering at the Dundas, because one of the things I think that we could have done, but I think I would have stopped it, and I have been involved in governance of the Dundas for a little while, is we could have made a conscious effort to target the upper echelons of society and made it into the kind of theater that people see elsewhere in the world, which is fancy and expensive, because we offer our tickets at prices that I think is still too high for ordinary people, but they have to cover our costs. So our tickets are $30 and $35.
And that's low in comparison.
Right,
That's
it's
low in
reasonable.
comparison to
Right.
like Atlantis Theater, and
Right,
the other shows.
exactly.
Those are 50 and upwards.
But we want to, we believe that theater, A, is in our blood, but B, that theater is imperative. It is healing. Theater is what people had before they had psychology. It is what people had before they had medicine. And theater is healing. And I think that we need theater more than ever in our country. When we're talking about all of the social ills, I'm not saying that it's a magic, but it is a cathartic experience when you see good theater. And a lot of times also Bahamians just seem to want to come out to live theater simply to be diverted and entertained. That's not what we do in the Dundas. We do life. And we approach life in such a way that we bring big issues to the table and change lives, like Leah said. I'll never forget in Short Tales, the first time we did it. Short Tales is an incubation program that we do in Shakespeare in Paradise. In the very first year we did it, there was a play that was submitted about a young woman who had died and her partner, who was also a woman, and her mother, who was coming to come and collect all of her daughter's things from this evil partner who had taken her daughter down this path of sin and wickedness. And it was just this confrontation between this mother and the bereaved almost wife, right? She would have been the wife if her partner had not died. It was a same-sex love story. And very risque. The author was anonymous. Nobody knows who the author was. But at the end of the play, a mother and a daughter burst into tears, and the daughter said, I am now able to talk to my mother about who I am. That's the level of transformation that theater does. And it happens in a live situation. I don't know, it's magic. I don't know what it is, but it's because of all the energy that's in the same room. And we need that. Theater also requires empathy, and it requires you to take yourself out of your own position and put yourself in somebody else's. And we don't have that skill. Nowhere else are we teaching that skill in this country.
So I'm sure we've got an interesting text here. I'm going to read this in a second, but I'm sure some people are thinking, well, why not just go to Atlantis or Bahama and put your plays on there?
Exactly.
What do you say to that? Well, why? I'm sure there's an answer. You have an answer for that.
You gotta pay for that.
Not only you have to pay for that, but
just
why
would feel
should
the same,
no. Here's my issue, right? We are the Bahamas. We are Bahamians. These are interlopers. These are people who come in and extract from our society their economic benefit. They provide jobs and that's it. The profits are repatriated elsewhere. They do not come back to us. They draw more in many ways from our country than they put in. Okay? If I were to take theater and put it on there, I would be betraying every bone in my body as a Bahamian. Wow. Right. Now, if they want to buy something that we have produced for the Bahamian people and they like it and they won't put it on for the tourists, we can have a conversation, but you can buy that and you can pay us what that's worth. You're not going to extract it. All right? We have many things that should be shown to the tourist public, but we have not yet worked out a deal that I believe is the right deal. We are not when you bring in the people you bring in, you don't nickel and dime them. Don't nickel and dime me. My art.
Wow.
Yeah. What's Bahamian is also good.
Yeah, absolutely. Caller, we'll get to you in a second. Just want to read this text really quick. You said something like this, Nicolette, but the person says, maybe the place has run its course. Wow. It's time for a new modern art center. 80 years ago, my mom went through there, and I have that certificate I display with pride, but maybe it's time for something new.
We Bahamians like new things.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I want to pause you. And this is really maybe not a radio appropriate statement, and it's not that they only like new things. They like foreign things. So Bahamians like to support other cultures.
Yes. We don't believe that who we are and what we have is really worthwhile.
Enough, right.
It's not enough. We are, you know, we always say the Bahamas is not a real country. I'm very small, so I can't knock people down when people say that, but that really riles me. The Bahamas we're a small country, but we're a very real country.
With rich heritage as well.
And, people always think about theater as a place. The Dundas is important to theater because it provides Bahamians with the ability to start from nothing to produce something, because we are not charging ridiculous prices and we don't have ridiculous overhead. We have a repair that needs to be done, but once it is done, we will make sure that we have the means to cover that as we go forward, and we will keep ourselves affordable. But to say that something has run its course suggests that the history, who we are and what we have built up, and the people who sweated and put their blood and tears and sacrificed into this country to bring us where we are today are worth nothing. Yeah. I don't throw that kind of stuff away.
Yeah. And there are old theaters all over the world.
Yeah,
and you make renovations, you fix it up, and you
and there are
improve the lighting.
People travel all around the world to go and see those theaters.
We're going to be, Philip and I are going to be working with a company that performs in the theater in that Mozart performed in.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you don't throw these things.
I mean, and
you make the improvements.
Correct.
Right. No,
and then
definitely.
The reality is, like, there are different things for different people. Like, theater attracts who it attracts. Right. So because it's not something that you like doesn't mean that there are other people who won't be enjoying that. Right. So if it isn't for you, let it be. But let those who it is for benefit from it.
Sadly, I don't even think that's what this person's saying. I think they just, like you say, want something new, which is
they
unfortunate.
want something shiny.
They have something new. It's called the port. But who's running stuff? Who's developing the art that's going there. Right? You don't have to come to the Dundas, but the Dundas is absolutely necessary if you're going to be developing the professionals and the art and the discipline that can go to the port. Right. We already have something new.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, this is Strachan always along with you on your panel, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
What I want to ask the lady, right? Now, in the 60s, I used to go to the Dundas, right? And to say it was very beautiful. But after I got blind, I stopped. But I always thought of it, right? I wondered, my point is to you, who's spearheading the Dundas nowadays? It also had a catering service, you know? So can you tell me what's happening with the catering service and who's spearheading the programs there?
Okay, but we're all a little puzzled with the catering service, right? But Dr. Nicola Bethel is the chair of the board of directors, right? But I guess I don't know if he wants some of the names of who's involved. But you're all volunteers, as you said earlier.
Yeah. I think that, I think if he's talking about going to the Dundas in the 60s and there was a catering service, chances are that would have been one of the companies, one of the performing arts companies like the Nassau Players or the Nassau Amateur Operatic Society. These were societies, and the catering they would have provided. They had a canteen. They would provide food and stuff during the intermission. But it was never. There's no kitchen at the Dundas. There's never been any obvious catering like that. It would have been brought in by the companies that were putting on plays at that time, 60 years ago.
So I watch a lot of unusual programs, but we know in other parts of the world, you donate to something like the Dundas and you get preferred seating and all that stuff. What can you offer? What do you offer to a big corporation that says, yeah, let's adopt the Dundas? Is that a possibility?
Oh, we would. Yes, it is. We encourage and we invite any corporation that would like to be a part and adopt us. We would love to partner with you. What we can offer preferred seating for some of our shows. We can offer. We still have the season passes.
Yeah.
So
at the moment, because the Black Box is the only theater open, what we can offer is limited. But once we get the main theater back open, yes, we can definitely offer preferred seating.
We have the booklets.
Yes, we have a lot of some merchandise and things like that. But what we really do have that we want to be able to make use of are the grounds. We have a lot of space. It's once we get the revenue to be able to do it, it will be landscaped and that will be available. I remember Leah said that she would have loved to have taken her wedding photographs in the Dundas yard. You know, I mean, it can be very beautiful when it is maintained. It is expensive to maintain. And to maintain it the way that I would like to maintain it is even more expensive than just cleaning the yard, right?
And somebody's asking, you used to have a pop-up there.
Right, you saw the food, something there.
Is that something that could be done again? Or
Oh, absolutely. So we have a lot of plans. We have a whole development program for the Dundas. We have many different ideas. We see the ability to rent the whole property, to rent the theater, to rent outdoor spaces. We want to have what we call a vendor's courtyard, which will be dedicated in one part of the grounds, which will enable us to, eventually develop packages that have dinner and theater as well.
Yeah.
And an expanded bar. We have a lot of ideas. We just need to get the investment to make those ideas happen. And the very first thing we need to do is enclose the property so that the people who own it don't come in as we start to renovate and slow the process down.
I'm just curious, is there something in the theater world like maybe what happened with LPIA, where you have a company that manages it, runs it?
We have a company that manages it. It's called Great Clay Productions. And no, the issue, so we have to be very careful with bringing too much neoliberal capitalist perspectives to the Dundas, because one of the things that neoliberal capitalism does not really understand is culture. It is to see it as a commodity, when you look at what happens in Hollywood, that's a different level of culture. What happens in Broadway is a different level of culture. These are things that are produced by a whole structure that allows people to get to that level. The Dundas is the pathway by which people get to that level. You cannot let corporate come in and manage that pathway. That's like creating a for-profit school. That takes away from the quality and the integrity of the process. So I have no problems with a corporate theater elsewhere, which can then put on Dundas productions. But the Dundas is an incubator. It is the place for Bahamians. And I don't think that the solution is corporate management. The decision to stop productions in the 1990s was an example of what happens when you have corporate management.
Wow, okay.
Okay? And we're still recovering from that.
Right. I want to get back to the fundraisers in a bit, but let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to your guests as well.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight, I was thinking almost something about the same line. Can you put together a business plan and present it to SBDC or one of the other government entities where, you would get the necessary funding and, take out a loan.
It's a wonderful
20, 30 years or so, and,
It's a great thought. Okay, so we have gone that way. We have a business plan. We have a strategic plan, we have a business plan. We have gone to the Bahamas Development Bank. We have sought the possibility of loans. The difficulty we have is that we don't own the property. The property is not alienable. The property is in trust.
Wow.
It's not government property. It's not private property. It is held in trust for the Bahamian people. It's community property, basically, managed by a board of directors. So there is no obvious collateral. That was the first thing that we were asked when we went to the bank, and we said, no, we can't let y'all. It doesn't work like that. And so they were like, okay, a loan is not possible. However, the Bahamas Development Bank is interested in working along with the Dundas. We have not developed the plan for what will happen, but we have our business plan, we have our strategic plan, we have all of these things. And the real challenge is, how does one, as a bank, work with a nonprofit trust to make something happen, right? And that's the nut we have to crack. So we are in conversation with the Bahamas Development Bank. I also want to say that we are also in conversation with the Bahamas government, because I'm surprised that nobody said, well, where is the government in all of this?
Right,
because in most other places, it just tells me that we're so brainwashed by the United States of America, which is an anomaly in the world. In most other places in the world, creative endeavors are subsidized by government authorities. In this case, we are not. The creative endeavors that are subsidized by government authorities is Junkanoo. But the Dundas is not a Junkanoo group. If we were, we might have $30,000.
Oh my!
But
I think people didn't ask because they're very jaded about the government here. But this is a great question. Finish your point.
No, because I want to say you could be jaded about the government, but the government. We have been in talks with the government for the last 4 years, and I think that something may be moving in that direction. So there may be an opportunity for the government to partner with the Dundas, because the government does not have any training center for the performing arts that belongs to the people, right? The Dundas has been doing this with no government investment for the Bahamian people and the nation for the past 50 years. So the government, I think, recognizes that, and I see light on the horizon in that direction.
Okay. Give us that number again. You said 400,000 to reopen.
Yes.
But
1.5 million.
5 million.
At least 1.5 million. Let's start with 1.5 million.
But that is not, in 2025, that's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot
It's not 1.5 billion.
Right. No.
People are buying homes here for 1.5 million.
Right. But they're not buying homes in the ghetto.
No.
But so that ghetto thing.
Venice Bay,
This should be easy. This should be easier than it's been.
It should be easier than it's been. I'm optimistic. The fact that first of all, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that we have independent fundraising groups, because people kept coming to us with a lot of ideas, right? And as I say, the people who've been keeping the theater open and serving the purpose of creation of theater people. Because one of the things that I want to make sure is that when we die, that what we have done, which is world class, and I'm not just going to say it's world class. It's not only world class; it's world class and excellent, right?
Absolutely.
Because coming out of Shakespeare in Paradise, Philip and I are going to Prague. We are respected faculty. We are esteemed faculty in the Prague Shakespeare Company's summer intensive, based on what we have done at the theater. We can make a global impact, but people need to adjust the way that they think, to stop looking at the appearance and to start looking at the product that we produce.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about global grants. Is this not an avenue you can pursue?
Global grants. Okay, so global grants, we have applied for a UNESCO grant. It is $100,000. Global grants are not going to put any money into capital development. They're only putting money into projects.
Right.
So that's not what we need. We need the building. We need the building to reopen.
Yeah.
And that's the real challenge. It's the capital. We can find some of the operating money if we do certain things, but we can't find it if we don't have a 330-seat theater to develop the stuff in and to bring the revenue in.
So all these contractors we have in this country, all these companies selling air conditioners,
different people
they have not
just
said,
donate
hey,
different
I'll do
things.
this, you do that. And
Okay, wait, now, we have had people say and give things.
Okay.
Yes. But we don't want to take, how can I say this in a nice way? I don't know if I want to say it. I don't think I can say it in a nice way. When people give you something, it's often not the best that they can give you. People don't generally give away the best. We have the Dundas. The Dundas air conditioning system was put in the 1970s, and it failed in 2020.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
So it's a long time.
We
ago.
want
quality.
We want to put in something of equal quality that's going to cost us less money on a monthly basis to run. That is not cheap, and I don't want to ask anybody to donate that because I am not going to be. I want to be sure that we can follow the process all the way through and make sure that for the next 2 generations we have something that works well and that is safe and reliable.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Okay. It seems to me that the issue we really have is we stop putting our money where our mouth is. We complain all the time how it's about Bahamian culture. We spread Bahamian culture and get Bahamian culture, but the Dundas is Bahamian culture.
Yeah.
So all this talk about Haitian culture, Jamaican culture, American culture, okay, well, here's an opportunity, right? Put the money into the Dundas to spread Bahamian culture. And I've never been in a place where this is ever an issue. If you go to Mumbai, they don't have a problem spreading Indian, doing things with Indian culture. You go to South Africa, same thing. Nigeria, same thing. Jamaica, same thing. So why is it with us? We want Bahamian culture, but the minute we get an opportunity to invest in Bahamian culture and show the beauty of Bahamian culture, well, I know about that. So I think
Every excuse in the book.
The tickets cost too much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
calling.
And that ticket price thing can't be an excuse. I mean,
No,
have
'cause
you been to the movies
yeah,
recently? I mean,
seriously.
oh my
Yes.
goodness gracious. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? No, let's take the other line there. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend. Hi, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning, Mr. John. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, good morning to question. Good morning to you again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was listening to. I was trying to call. I was going to ask what happened to the government, what happened to the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, and different things like that, right? And I think what the lady should do is she should put a petition forward if she has a problem, seeing that she said that belongs to us. You know what I mean? Let the public put some type of petition together. Let the public sign it if you have a problem with the government funding your project, and let's see if we could do it that way, and see if Dwight and the Guardian could help you in that project. Because if the government could go around spending $10 million on PR, right, they should be able to spend some money on the Dundas. I'll have a good day.
All right, thanks a lot. So, yeah,
Thank you.
GoFundMe, is that an option or something to that effect?
GoFundMe is, okay, so there's so many challenges. GoFundMe requires you to have an American account. And the Dundas is a non-profit trust. And I have to be very careful. First of all, we don't have an American account. Right. We are a Bahamian incorporated company. We don't have an American arm. And secondly, that means that we would have to put our trust into somebody to collect the money and give it to us. And I do not have as the chairman of the board, I am not going to take that kind of a decision. That does not seem to me to be a responsible.
So what about a bank account where people can donate?
Transit.
We have that.
You have that?
We have that.
You want to give that information out?
Absolutely.
You have the banking information that you want to share now, Leah?
It's on the website.
Yes. So I can pull up the website.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to say is that I want to turn it back over to Leah to talk a little bit about what people are doing. Like we're talking about what we need, and the need is great. But just so people know that there are channels by which you can assist. So I'll let Leah talk about that. Yeah. And then I will talk about the big initiative that's aiming to raise a lot of money.
All right, Leah.
Right. So going back to some of our fundraising initiatives for the year, ultimately, if you want to support the Dundas, you can always follow our pages. So Shakespeare in Paradise, we have Ring Play Theater on Facebook as well. We have the Dundas Center for Performing Arts website, where you can find our banking information if you'd like to donate, as well as updates and information on current and past shows. So just follow us on those sites. And we are in our repertory season right now. We would have just closed out Night Mother this weekend gone. Beautiful play. We have 12 Angry Jurors coming up. And then we have Witness for the Prosecution and Arsenic and Old Lace. So shows are running from now straight up until May 8th. May 10th, my apologies. So you can always come out and support those shows as well. We have evening shows, usually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we will have a few matinees in between. So you could always call the box office if you need to get information in reference to that as well. Aside from that, we do have our monthly Black Box Open Mic Night, which is a community initiative. Persons, young artists, poets, musicians, whatever it is you want to display, you can come and be a part of the open mic night. It's $10 to support and be in the audience. It's $5 if you are going to showcase your talents. And we are encouraging persons to come and just enjoy that. That's a fundraising initiative. All of the proceeds from that goes into the Dundas. Of course, it's not a ton of money. I think on those
every
nights,
little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. Right. Every little bit helps. We can house up to, I think, about 100 on those days. So please come out and support. We also have bring some extra change, because we have our bar that's open, so you can support through that. We have a family fun day that should be coming up in April, early April, where we would like also persons from the community to come. We're going to be selling tickets for entry to come in, and you could have some good food. I haven't fully looked at the proposal, but we should be having 1 or 2 shows at the back for when persons come in and they can enjoy some of the games and the food. They can always come to the back and look at the skits that we'll be putting on, some of them from our past Shakespeare in Paradise plays. So you could get a good taste of theater, bring your kids out and enjoy that. We also will hopefully in June be putting on a concert on the grounds as well. So we're inviting persons to come to the Dundas to see where the Dundas is, to see what it is we do, and to continue to support us in those ways. And that's a smaller fundraising initiative.
Right.
Now, in terms of the big money with our larger Save the Dundas campaign.
So we have a Friends of the Bahamas of the Dundas committee that is organizing an amazing raffle, a raffle with some serious prizes. Raffle tickets are only $5 per ticket.
Yes. Okay.
They can be purchased from all kinds of people, from myself at the School of Social Sciences, at the University of Bahamas office. You can get them at the Dundas. If you know anybody at the Dundas, you should ask them if they have a book of raffle tickets. Follow WhatsApp, whatever.
And we're selling books.
Yeah, we're selling books.
Okay.
There's an array of wonderful prizes.
Gotta tell us about them.
I gotta try and remember that. Things like a trip to Exuma to stay in a fancy little cottage on the beach. Things of that level. I have to go find my list of prizes in a minute, but I just want to say that the raffle drawing will culminate on Shrove Tuesday, which is Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, which is middle of April. And that will be at the Balmoral Clubhouse. So that's when the drawing is going to happen. The fundraising raffle, we have I can't remember how many books.
That is
2,000, I think.
2,000
you said
books.
April,
yes.
or is that next month?
No, April. I'm pretty sure that. Oh, Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's next month.
I'm thinking about Easter. Sorry. Thank you very much.
I think the date that was given was March 4th.
March 4th.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
March
Okay, so
4th.
Easter's
You're
late.
right. You're right. It is. Easter's fairly late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's March 4th.
March
Yeah,
4th.
March 4th.
Yeah.
So we are going to be. I'm going to pull up the list of prizes, but that's one of the big fundraising events,
We're
as
hoping
well
to reach
as
100K.
yes,
Okay.
as well as we're looking at. Once upon a time, there was a ball that was held to
I have that
raise.
as a list on the
Yes,
list. The
we do.
ball walkathon. That's what people
Beaux-Arts-
do these
the
days.
Beaux-Arts ball, the black and white the black
Okay.
and white ball. So there is talk about reviving that on
good.
behalf of the Dundas, and so that's something that is definitely on the table.
And you do that this year?
Well,
No,
early
not this year.
2026.
Okay.
Early
hopefully.
2026, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are a lot of initiatives, and people, you know what I think I'm going to invite people to do is to stop in. Just not to assume that just because nothing's happening in the front building. Drive in, drive to the window on the side where you buy the box office, ask for Dorian and see what's happening. Because we have been active, and the Dundas and the theater community has grown in quality, size, and stature in the last 10 years. We have been training people. Shakespeare in Paradise has been the main training agent. I don't know what to call it.
Writers,
And
actors,
yes,
yeah, producers, directors.
We bring in. We just will take you from nothing if you have an interest, and we'll throw you in the deep end. Our idea is training by doing.
And we have an alum of about over 200 people at this point.
I would say our
think
alum
maybe
is about close to 300 or 400
yeah,
people.
we have a very
You
vibrant.
mean for Shakespeare in
Shakespeare in
Paradise
Paradise,
alone?
right,
But
yeah.
for the Dundas, it would be
Oh, no, for the Dundas.
thousands,
Thousands,
right?
Yeah, thousands. But Shakespeare in Paradise.
But I'm talking
Yeah.
about the people who'll be around for a little while.
Yeah, okay.
Not the people who were going in the 60s and 70s
Right,
who only
right,
got a couple who don't have that much mileage left.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the future, right? That there's a young woman who said to me, you know, when she heard that the Dundas was going to close, she said, "I can't close. The Dundas is my life."
Yeah. So
I didn't
let
even know they
people
had
know.
all those, like, she listed all those shows, and
Yeah.
I really
You
didn't.
got to follow them on social media.
Yeah, follow us
Very
on our
active.
social media pages. They're there, you know.
So you're not just saying that though. I mean, this is serious. You will close if you can't.
This is absolutely serious.
Do you have a timeline, like your absolute last time?
Let me tell you, this is the reality. Yes, the absolute last time will be the 20th anniversary of Shakespeare in Paradise. That will be the only thing that keeps the Dundas open for 3 more years. We could close now. There are trees growing out of the walls of the Dundas. The Dundas is made out of limestone. We have trees growing out of it. And we don't have the ability. We don't have, it takes money to do all of these things.
Yeah.
We are keeping the doors open. We're paying the electricity, and we're running. We're investing in the people. We need now the money to invest in the place. I think that's the thing that a lot of times people miss is we're always looking at the building, and we're not thinking about who are the people. What's the people doing? We're doing a lot of work with the people.
Yeah.
But the building needs love. If Shakespeare in Paradise could only do what it does, our theater home. And because Shakespeare in Paradise is part of that theater home, we are going to keep the theater going until we are 20 years old, which will be in 2028. After which, the Dundas will close if we do not get this injection of capital.
Wow. All right, really quickly, how do people join the Save the Dundas campaign and be friends of the Dundas? Tell us more about that.
So firstly, I would say follow our social media. Definitely, like I said, we're on Instagram. We're about to make our TikTok. So follow us on those platforms, on Facebook as well. And then also check out the website. So that's ways that you could find to donate. We have our account information on there. Additionally, as Doc said, just come to the Dundas. You could stop by the Black Box. You can ask what shows are on. You could ask what shows are coming up. A lot of the persons who are involved in the Dundas, like me personally, my WhatsApp status is not my own. It belongs to the Dundas and all of these other great initiatives. So spread the word. Once you go on the Facebook or the Instagram page and you see it, spread the word. Invite your family, invite your friends, come out and support in those ways. And also, we will be posting all of the information on these upcoming events on those pages, so you stay abreast and you can come out and support.
Yeah. Well, Leah Forbes and Dr. Nicolette Bethel, I want you to consider Guardian Radio a friend of the Dundas. We are here to help you. We cannot let it go.
Thank you.
And so whenever you need us, Morning Blend, I'm sure all of our shows will be open to you as well.
Appreciate it.
We've
Thank
got
you
to
so
do
much,
this.
Dwight.
All right.
All right.
We got to take a break and then be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is rolling out new digital meters designed to give you more accurate readings. With advanced technology, you'll be able to monitor your water usage in real time, get more accurate bills and early leak detection to avoid costly surprises. Better service starts now. Watch for our installation team in your neighborhood and get ready to experience the convenience of digital meters. Follow us on our social media platforms for more information. Digital meters from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Innovative, convenient, and designed for you.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do? What does do?
Check the website, boy. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
The CIBC Caribbean Realtors Hub helps potential homeowners meet their best fit. Phew.
Honey, you missed a spot.
Enjoy up to 95% financing and up to 35 years to repay. And in the Realtors Hub, you'll discover everything you need to know about finding and buying your dream home.
I'm on it there.
Make your biggest move yet. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/Realtors Hub to get started today.
This is it! The big game is almost here, and the best place to watch it is at Nassau Cruise Port. Join us on Sunday, February the 9th for an unforgettable games, unbeatable food, and drink specials, and all the game day energy you can handle. Grab your friends, bring your game face, and score big with giveaways, drink discounts, and a chance to win exclusive prizes. Don't miss out on the action. Game day, Nassau Cruise Port, Sunday, February 9th, where every touchdown feels like a win. See you there.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. While the Bahamas declares that it has a major food insecurity problem, because it's dependent on food imports. A new UNFAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization report on food security and nutrition, finds the Bahamas as one of the countries with the lowest prevalence of moderate to severe food insecurity. The country is, though, listed as one with some of the highest costs to maintain a healthy diet. The average cost of a healthy diet per person per day was $5.41 in 2022, making the Bahamas the seventh most expensive country in the list of 39 countries in the region. The report, titled Latin America and the Caribbean Regional Overview of Food Security and Nutrition, explains that the Bahamas' food insecurity percentage is at 17.2. Only Uruguay and Costa Rica have a lower food insecurity percentage than the Bahamas. Association of Bahamas Marinas President Peter Morey telling Guardian Business that this year's annual Bahamas Charter Yacht Show is roughly 60% of what it was last year. Morey says the fall off is dramatic, but he will continue on with this year's yacht show, as he says other Caribbean jurisdictions are picking up yacht business that used to be the Bahamas'. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. And Abaco Big Bird Poultry Farm will increase its broiler chicken production by 4,000 to 5,000 birds in March when it expands its hatchery. The farm's operations manager, Lance Pinder, telling Guardian Business that due to the bird flu epidemic in the U.S., the cost of chicken has risen as a result of the cost of broiler chicks increasing by 130% as well. Pinder says Abaco Big Bird's broiler chick supply was adversely affected by the large culling of birds that occurred due to the bird flu. He said that problem has abated and the farm's expansion in March could allay any shortage fears for a while. Overseas, the Chinese artificial intelligence firm DeepSeek has rattled markets with claims that its latest AI model, R1, performs on a par with those of OpenAI, despite using less advanced computer chips and consuming less energy. DeepSeek's emergence has raised concerns that China may have overtaken the U.S. in the artificial intelligence race despite restrictions on its access to the most advanced chips. It's just one of the many Chinese companies working on AI with the goal of making China the world leader in the field by 2030 and besting the U.S. in their battle for technological supremacy. Like the U.S., China's investing billions in AI. Last week, it created a 60 billion won or $8.2 billion AI investment fund, days after the U.S. imposed fresh chip export restrictions. Beijing's also invested heavily in the semiconductor industry to build its capacity to make advanced computer chips, working to overcome limits on its access to those of industry leaders. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday, your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 1,000 shares, closing unchanged at $5.03. Consolidated Water up 16 cents, closing at $5.33. Emir Incorporated up 14 cents, closing at $9.45. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,090.46, up 0.30. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Duke Quesadine, thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Day. Thank you for having me.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is a public service announcement from CIBC Caribbean. We wish to remind our clients that if they receive a text message from a number purporting to be CIBC Caribbean, remember, CIBC Caribbean will never send you an SMS text message advising that your account has been restricted and it requires you to click on a link. CIBC Caribbean will never contact you over the phone or via an email, instant messaging, or SMS text message asking you to share your username, password, or one-time verification code. Do not click on any link purporting to be CIBC Caribbean received via SMS text message. Stay safe online and be vigilant in your everyday activity.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.